Hey, you guys, welcome back, welcome back to Naughty Love Movement. It's your girl, Nikki. And today, I'm bringing opportunities for advertisement on my channel. If anyone is interested, they can email us at naughtylove2020@gmail.com. Our prices are affordable and reasonable. And please reach out to us. We can start our videos with any commercials that you would like us to advertise. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out. One. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I didn't even have plans on signing on tonight. I'm going to give YouTube a chance to send out some notifications and we're going to dive in. We got a lot to get into, Naughty Girl. It is going down. It is going down. It is going down, Naughty Crew. Okay. Look, I always knew and had an inkling that when it came to Diddy and all his crimes, I remember that TikTok when Little Rod dropped his lawsuit. There was a TikTok of Diddy screaming like, "We gonna teach you how to get away with crime and stay out of prison," and things like that. All of that is coming true. Please thumbs up the video, share this live out. We got a lot to get into it. I'm just waiting for people to load up in the room. Just please like the video as you load up in the room. Shout out to Surprise Witness. I love her commentary. I believe she's some type of legal analyst or used to be a lawyer or in the legal system in some capacity. And she has access to Pacer and she just dropped a bombshell. Okay. Y'all think the trafficking is the biggest part of Diddy case? Mm-mm. Y'all remember Derek Lee Cordella Smith, the gentleman that filed a lawsuit against Diddy and then turned around and filed a restraining order to stop the sales of his home. And in that hearing, it was revealed that Diddy had visited the prison and offered to pay him off. And now, all along, because Derek is in prison right now, accused of some heinous allegations. He's been screaming that he's been set up all this time and by the diddler. And now he is coming forward with the truth. And let me tell you, Gene Dill's name is listed as a witness. Judges, prosecutors writing affidavits stating that they were paid off or paid to buy warrants and that they set Derek Cordella Smith up. It's going down. Please thumbs up the video. I'm gonna give you all a little reminder. Back when Derek filed the restraining order to stop the sale of Diddy house, if you notice, he still haven't been able to sell his home. Let's get into it. Shout out to Judge Anna Marie. Here we go. Please thumbs up this video.
Lee Cordella Smith, sir?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is in the matter of Derek Lee Cordella Smith, MDOC number 267009 versus Sean Combs, Sean Puff Daddy Combs, also known as Sean P. Diddy, also known as Diddy, Bad Boy Records label owner, founder, also known as Puff P. Daddy, Bad Boy, Diddy Run the City, Sean Combs, also known as Sean Puffy Combs. And this is file number 24-7362NO. I'll grab your paperwork here real quick out of this other paperwork. We do have Mr. Cordella Smith appearing from the Michigan Department of Corrections. Sir, where are you currently located?
I'm located at the Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility, 2500 South Sheridan Drive, Muskegon, Michigan, 49444, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Or Your Honor.
Thank you. So I do see that we do have a proof of service on Mr. Combs, but for purposes of this hearing, you filed a motion for a temporary restraining order and or a preliminary injunction to stop all sales of the property and assets attached to or involved with said property based on the interest of plaintiff and plaintiff's connections to defendant sexual assault of plaintiff Derek Lee Cordella Smith, requiring a preliminary injunction and or a temporary restraining order. We did set that for hearing today, and luckily the Brooks Correctional Facility was able to make you available. Actually, they had to drive someone up today on another case. So, sir, I have received your motion and a proposed order. Do you wish to argue the motion today, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may proceed then.
Okay, the purpose of it is based on two actions taken by Mr. Combs himself, directly with me here. We did a live one-on-one visit in our prison visiting room. There's 2 meetings within the past 2 weeks with Mr. Combs on one meeting and then a financial advisor on the other meeting on Mr. Combs' behalf. And he stated that he would make me an offer to end the case and what happened to me because of other things that he stated he has going on in his life that require his money right now, and he wants to sell everything off. And he made me a financial offer of $2.3 million to allow what happened to me to go away. And he stated that he's going to be selling his property. And under the 2005 California Civil Code 2881-2885, the creation of liens, which allows out-of-state justices and orders to cause a stop of any title transfer, property transfers in Los Angeles or any other place that he has property. He stated that he wouldn't be able to proceed with that sale. And he did it the day after I served him the suit. And he also said that he won't be filing an answer to the complaint. He said, you find me in default or whatever, he has a better chance with default than he would with having a restraining order stop. And I said, so you want to hide your money and stop from being quite possibly paid to me if I'm given the benefit of a judgment in my favor for what you've done to me. And he pretty much said, yeah, you know how we get down. And I said, okay, well, I disagree with how you get down. Your sale.
Okay. And this is a result of he filed this restraining order after he filed $100 million lawsuit against Diddy. Okay, this is the gift that keeps on giving, child. This is that net in the yard that will not go away. Please thumbs up this video. Derek Lee Cordella has filed a new lawsuit. We're gonna get into it, but I just want to give people who don't know about this a little background before we get into the latest details of what's going on. Now, he has accused the diddler of allegedly rugging and raping him, okay? And I keep saying, like, Diddy does not move like he's innocent, because why are you going to the prison, offering him money and things like that if you're so innocent and if you didn't do anything?
Shouldn't go through.
So hold on.
I'm sorry.
Cordella Smith. Okay, so you went in a different direction than I thought you were going into. I thought we were just going to focus. No. You kind of went off in a different direction than what your actual motion was.
Yes.
So what I just want to say is settlement negotiations.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
In this case, are probably better not. Yeah, they're not to be placed on the record today. Okay. No, it's okay. You're not an attorney. I understand that. So if we can just backtrack and focus just on your motion. Okay, thank you.
If he's allowed to sell his property that he has in LA and the properties that are in his name being used and held by other people in Michigan, then it will cause me harm because I can be tied directly to those properties through loans and through other areas of investment that I did when I was out there and while in prison, through money that I've sent. And if he's allowed to go through with any of the sales, I won't be able to recoup any of my monies or anything from him as a result of any possible judgment in this action, if he's allowed to proceed with it. And an injunction or restraining order would help ensure that he's not manipulating and selling the property to avoid his responsibility in these matters here. That's what a temporary restraining order would do. It would prevent that from happening. Because it's a very serious matter. It involves a lot of money. And him selling this would help him avoid his liability for these actions done upon me. And I was just hoping that I'd be able to get the restraining order to prevent that. There won't be any harm to him, any of the parties. There won't be any harm to him in any way. And if it's deemed that it's not justified, then he can go ahead and go through with the sale. at the end of the case. But one has to be put in place to stop this from happening.
Okay. Okay. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm just looking back through your complaint.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to check one more of your filings. So I'm going to step off the bench for 2 seconds and I'll be right back. All right.
Yes, Judge Angela.
Thank you.
You with the defense? No, sir.
Wish to add.
I was just first off, just thank you for giving me the hearing and thank you for setting a pretrial on this matter. Thank you, Your Honor. There were some other filings. There were some other filings that you should have gotten. I didn't know if that's one of the filings you could have been referring to.
So I received your complaint and all the attachments to it, and then I received this motion, and I just wanted to take a moment to review back through the U.S. District Civil Docket and your complaint. So I did do that. That's all.
Yes.
And okay. Anything else?
Everything that you're looking at, they're all tied in together. Every part, as crazy as it seems, as outrageous as it seems, it all ties in. Every bit of it, every facet.
Okay. All right. Well, I have
that right there. That part right there, where he's saying, as outrageous as it seems, I'm telling you, the stuff that's far-fetched, even the lawsuit that Ariel Mitchell filed, even though I can't stand her character, even though those allegations in there were far-fetched, going by what people like Derek are saying, it's believable these things can happen.
a proof of service showing that Mr. Combs was served on July 6th of 2000 and, let me see, is that 24?
Yes, sir.
Looks like it. 2024, return received requested was provided. So there is proper service. Mr. Combs has neither appeared nor responded to this request. So I'm going to grant your motion for a preliminary injunction temporary restraining order and order that the defendant and their agents are hereby enjoined temporarily for a period of 90 days on the sale, transfer, or exchange, trade, or transaction of title or deed to the.
See, she granted the restraining order to prevent the sale of his home. She found cause, okay? Look, when people go to prison, everyone becomes a lawyer up in there because he's fighting for his life. He's trying to do everything he could so he could see the light of day. So he did file the $100 million restraining order. And shout out to BBC. Inmate awarded $100 million in default judgment against Sean Diddy Combs. So a man that sued American rapper Sean Diddy Combs over an alleged SA has won $100 million by default after Combs failed to respond. Derek Lee Cordella, Smith 51, accused Combs of rugging him and ex-SAing him at a party in Detroit, Michigan in 1997. Lawyers for Combs have denied the allegations. Cordella Smith is a convicted felon currently serving prison sentence. It is known for his long history of filing civil lawsuits according to a local newspaper. Lawyers for Combs said Cordella Smith was committing fraud on the court and told the BBC that the rapper will fight the ruling, and that they did. So Michigan inmates $100 million judgment. I'm on live. You okay?
Oh, okay.
I'll call you back.
I was supposed to ask you, but
Oh, hold on 1 second. My daughter, child. Against Sean Diddy Combs set aside. So the $100 million judgment a Michigan inmate won by default in civil lawsuit against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was set aside by the judge Wednesday after it emerged in court that notice of the case probably wasn't properly sent. In other words, not so fast, Derek Lee Cordella Smith. The decision from the judge, Anna Marie Anzalone, which was reported by the Daily Telegram, David Paynian, means Cordella Smith, who filed the civil case, doesn't get the $100 million in a lawsuit and Combs just because the music artist didn't show up to court. Instead, there will be more hearings, with the next one set for November the 4th, and more lawyering. Combs, who made international news this week, has a bigger problem. He's charged with a New York and jailed, accused of operating an empire that promoted sordid crimes that included racketeering, conspiring, trafficking, and the indictment and allegations. Okay, so that's where we stood with the $100 million lawsuit. Ultimately, He didn't win the judgment, but that doesn't stop him from filing more motions. They said he got a history, but I believe he has a history of filing all these lawsuits because he was set up by several people. Now, shout out to the surprise witness for uncovering this. Now, she has access to Pacer. I don't. I don't make enough on YouTube yet to have all of that. So shout out to her. Everything we discuss here falls under fair use commentary, but she has uncovered new filings by Derek Lee Cordella Smith, and he has attached affidavits. I love the Surprise Witness TV. She is the bomb. Shout out to you, girl. Thank you so much for the good commentary on a regular basis. This is going to be the case of the year. Y'all think the African and y'all think Cassie is the biggest witness? Child. And don't forget about Jonathan Odie. Now remember, when Odie was in the interrogation room, he said he contracted the earth by Diddy, sued him, won multi-million-dollars, and then Diddy continued to harass him and threaten his life. Okay, same thing in the Tanya Rubin case, which people are starting to say she's a fraud. I don't know. I haven't seen her in a while on the intranet. Okay, so let's get into the surprise witness. Okay, fair use. Let me speed it up a little bit. But she uncovered some interesting facts, Naughty Crew, and I don't want y'all to miss a beat.
Archdiocese of Detroit. He alleged sexual abuse by clergy members, which apparently allegedly happened to him between 1979 and 1993. So I was just, poking around on Pacer yesterday, and I saw a brand new lawsuit filed, and it was a familiar name. So see, not that one, this one right here, this purple one. As you can see, it was filed officially on the docket just 2 days ago. Today is March 20th. This is March 18th, 2025. And I saw a familiar name. So of course I clicked on it. I'm always trying to keep up with the new cases coming out, especially, okay, there's a familiar name. So as you can see, this is an unusual looking docket, and it says originating court information. And actually, this is a lawsuit that originated in October 2024. Okay, so what we're looking at is an appeal. He's appealing. Here's the case number. We are going to look at that. We're going to look at what he actually filed. This is just some administrative paperwork. The appeal has been docketed as this case number. Please review for accuracy. And again, y'all, he is in jail/prison in Detroit. He has until April next month to pay the filing fee or some type of financial affidavit. Okay, so these are just instructions, but it's given to him from the court. So I want to click on the originating court documents, and here it is. As you can see, this docket starts in October 2024, and there have been quite a few filings. Look, they got Gene Deal is a material witness. This is just something that I noticed as I'm scrolling. He's talking about a hitman. He's talking about
all you little internet snakes out here that was running your mouth. Now it's time for you to step up. Y'all ain't had nothing to say when stuff was going down. Now you're going to have to speak it to the judge.
him worthy of former judge. He submitted an investigator's report, and it looks like back in February, the judge did deny Derek Lee Cordella Smith motion for leave to file an amendment motion because he wanted to amend or correct his complaint or some paperwork. And the judge said, no, I've had enough. Judith Levy said no. But that all brings us to this filing, which did happen literally yesterday. Okay. And I'm going to pull it up. There's two motions here I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you all the one that was filed on the 18th. I'm going to show you all the one that was filed literally just yesterday on the 19th. So let me pull those up. It's kind of weird that these were filed so recently because they do look like old documents. Like they look like, because they're typed on a typewriter. Because again, he is in jail. He's not like out here with Microsoft Word and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they give you Microsoft Word in jail. I've never been. But here's the filing from the 18th, y'all. And this is truly groundbreaking, and it is a bombshell. I am surprised not one single person has said anything about this quite yet. He said he's filing the above. So again, this is an appeal. He is appealing. He's filing a writ of habeas corpus, and he's got an enumerated list. Number one, defendants all work together to wrongfully convict this plaintiff for the charged offenses of criminal-esque conduct and to hide other crimes that were committed. The attached documents and affidavits verify this plaintiff's claims that are articulated herein. Sean P. Diddy Combs framed this plaintiff, he says. Diddy used a crooked assistant Wayne County prosecutor to conduct this act of placing Derek Lee Cordella Smith in prison. Diddy worked with the prosecutor, Kim L. Worthy, and it resulted in a complete violation of this plaintiff's due process.
And y'all want to know if they be paying off judges to look up the other way and prosecutors to look the other way? Abuse of power, chow, is going down.
As in a wrongful conviction. Diddy framed him, he says. This is my petition seeking release from custody as the defendants. He's blaming the government too. Worked to frame me and have me placed in the custody of the Michigan Department of Corrections, where various prison wardens carried out judgments of sentences that were obtained through illegally obtained criminal prosecutions that were the result of bribes being paid. You're going to see Derek Lee Cordella Smith has attached some actual evidence, and it's notarized. He said there were bribes paid to the district court magistrate judges, and even worse, done so by corrupt police officers and assistant prosecuting attorneys. Detroit police officer Nicole Rabier has effectively admitted In a March 5th, 2025, so this month, 15 days ago, 2 weeks ago, there is an affidavit by this former, maybe current Detroit police officer named Nicole Rabier. And we're gonna look at it. She says she has been working for Sean Combs. She was paid to frame this man. And she has admitted her role in the form of a full admission to these acts to frame the petitioner as detailed with an affidavit attached. And Derek Lee Cordella Smith is saying the court needs to consider this. He further states that the affidavit of recantation from Andrea Romarito, or maybe Bomarito, even further shows and proves that she worked directly for Sean Combs and is something else that this court must consider because she even recants the charges and has done so in this matter every other matter available. Derek says the respondents all worked to convict him of his...
They all worked to convict him. This is some Now remember, Ariel Mitchell said she suspected a cover-up in her case. She went to get a copy of the police report that the victim reported, and something happened. They couldn't find it or something, or they said the case was unfounded or whatever. Now it's going down. Some heads is going to roll. Thumbs up this video and share it out.
Prisons. And he's saying, I didn't do the stuff that they said I did. I was framed. I'm serving prison time because I was framed. He's saying now he has evidence. And because he has this new evidence, this newly discovered evidence, which are these two affidavits we're going to read in a moment, he says the case has to be opened back up. The order of dismissal, all these things has to be opened back up because look at this new evidence. I didn't have it at the time. I have it now as of March 5th. So he says they all worked together to convict him. And they did so for the sole purpose of keeping him quiet while he was framed for crimes that he did not commit. Number 4, he says he submits that the affidavit of Suzette Samuels, who is an assistant Wayne County prosecutor, supports his claims and even further supports that he has been wrongfully convicted and held in custody in violation of the state and federal constitutions requiring reversal. Number 5, he said, I submit to this court that the detailed lists within verify and support that I was framed by the respondents. And these affidavits require a hearing and require action on the merits of the claims. What relief does he want? He wants an order granting a writ of habeas corpus and an order for the release of his release. So here is an affidavit. I mean, look at it. Affidavit, offer of proof, filed in court, and it appears to be notarized. Okay, it appears notarized. Now, I guess take it with a grain of salt, but it appears like an affidavit which is notarized and filed in court. Again, this man is convicted as a criminal. He claims he is innocent. He claims he was framed. I don't know. I wasn't there, but for the purposes of conviction, he has been convicted, and so that probably would be something that would be brought up. I did look up Nicole Rabier, and it does appear that at least at some point there was a police officer. Maybe there still is, but there certainly was at one point a police officer in Detroit police officer who was named Nicole Rabier. It's spelled like that. Okay, so she says, my name is Nicole Rabier. I'm an officer who authorized the police report in the city of Detroit, January 13th, 2008, against Derek Lee Cordella Smith. He's a current prisoner with the Michigan Department of Corrections. The conviction was obtained as a result of my investigator's report, and I state the following information and facts as true and accurate. She has a little list here. Number 1, the police...
Diddy!
Congratulations, you played yourself.
It's going down. Now that you in jail, they ain't scared no more, Diddy.
report I submitted against Derek Lee Cordella Smith for kidnapping an SA of Tina, the victim, is false. No one's talking about this. This was filed 2 days ago.
Why
Someone
is
reporting to the
anybody
police
talking
officer saying
about
that they
this?
submitted a false police report to frame this man. Number 2, the police report I submitted against this man for kidnapping an SA of Andrea, another victim, is false. Number 3, I was ordered to make the false police report against Mr. Cordella Smith by Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, Kim Worthy, who is a Wayne County prosecutor, Suzette Samuels, an assistant Wayne County prosecutor, and Jose Ortiz, a detective.
You see all these?
What's going on? What's going on?
What is going on in Wayne County, Detroit? Okay, and you wonder why the children are suffering when they have crooked police and prosecutors taking payoffs. And you wonder why kids are going missing in Detroit, Nazaria Harris? Ciao.
In the Detroit Police Department. So she's saying not only did Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs order her to file these fake police reports, and she's saying she's a police officer. This is notarized. This is apparently notarized. She said not only did Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs do this, order her to do this, but she alleges that also the Wayne County prosecutor, an assistant Wayne County prosecutor, and somebody from the Detroit Police Department, who I guess would be her boss, a detective, ordered her to do this. Number 4, I was also paid a total of $132,000 cash by Sean Combs to issue the false police report of kidnapping an SA against Derek Lee Cordella Smith, and she even put in the police report number. Number 5, my family's lives and my life had been threatened by this man. I'm assuming she means Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. And the only way to save them was to go through the police report, was to go through with the police report. I filed in this case, and even though I knew it was a betrayal of my badge and my oath as a police officer, I followed through with these actions, and I had no other choice. Y'all, take it for what it is, but it appears a police officer from the Detroit Police Department is claiming she was paid $132,000.
$132,000. She need to be in jail. Huh? The prosecutor and the judge. Thumbs up this video. This is breaking news. Shout out to Surprise Witness TV. She went scrolling along in Pacer and noticed that Derek Lee Cordella Smith has filed new lawsuit. He is not letting up. He has been saying he has been framed all along. Okay. This time with his motion, he filed affidavits from the prosecutor, from the police officer who wrote out the police reports, and the judge who took off the payment. Child, get these lights up. Breaking news.
And ordered to make false police reports against this man to frame him and put him in jail to keep him quiet. She said she did so because her family's lives were threatened. Number 6, my commanding officer on the Northeastern District 5 had me go through with this action, as I have done in many other cases before, and as I will also do and have to do continuously. She goes on, number 7, Derek Cordella Smith never kidnapped anyone. The man is in prison right now. Nor did he ever SA anyone. He was the victim that evening, she says.
Hence, the urgency for Diddy to go to that prison where he's locked up at and try to pay for his silence. Thumbs up the video. Thumbs up the video. Now I have to put a disclaimer. Yeah, the diddler is innocent until proven guilty, but I think this is some very damning evidence. And I think this is the one person Diddy do not want to be testifying in his case.
Number 8, the arrest warrant was paid for by me. So she's saying she paid a judge for the arrest warrant, and others, by me and others, directly to the magistrate judge of the 36th district.
So those of you who don't think judges can be paid off, I bring up Ramirez Satterwhite, the man going around alleging that Jay-Z's his father and he wants a DNA test. He claimed that Jay-Z been paying judges off for years. Allegedly, that's what he said. I ain't say that. But y'all think they don't be paying off judges?
District Court. It says he was paid a total of $5,000 for signing the arrest warrant, as he has been paid in many cases, and as he works for Sean Combs. So she's saying the judge works for Diddy, and he accepted a $5,000 payment to sign an arrest warrant. And this arrest warrant was based on false police reports, which were also ordered by Sean Combs. This is the allegation. Okay, this is a federal court filing. This is a publicly filed federal court filing. Okay, I am not making this up. Doesn't mean it's true. No, of course it doesn't. People file fake stuff in court all the time. Trust me, believe me, I'm a victim of it. But this is very important.
Talk about it.
So it's the first video I'm making today, 6:43. She says the judge was paid. She personally paid the judge $5,000. This judge works for Diddy, she says. I was connected to him. And
this judge works for Diddy. Is this what elitism gives you? Judges.
Forced to pay him, and I paid him the money for these warrants that I knew were false, and he knew were false, and especially in Derek's case, all charges were false. This woman needs to go to prison. I'm sorry. Everyone who does stuff like this needs to go to prison. If you're admitting stuff like this, you need to be the one. You go take a spot.
You're supposed to uphold the law.
She goes on in this affidavit, and this was notarized this month. It looks kind of like, old and stuff, but this says March 5th, 2025 is when this was notarized. By Marcus Ashford.
Now, she took an oath, and you ain't feel the need to lock this man up. Like, you are law enforcement, and you let the diddler trick you out of your spot. Now, make that, naughty crew, make that make sense.
The notary public. She goes on. I was present. This is number 9. I was present when Patricia Penman, detective with Wayne County and Dearborn Police Department. This officer goes on to say, I was present when a detective with the Wayne County and Dearborn Police Department paid. Stop. This is mind-blowing. It's almost like my first knee-jerk reaction is like, it's too outrageous to be true. But then my immediate second reaction is, that's the perfect thing to do. Something so outrageous nobody would believe it's true. Who would believe number 9?
Right there. Notice how outrageous these allegations are. Even the one Ariel Mitchell put out. Now, she's not the most credible source or lawyer. But that one lawsuit she put out about that young woman that Diddy set up to gang rape because she said, I don't like you because I believe you had something to do with Tupac's Red Rum. And he set her up to get raped. Like, that whole story sounds freaking outrageous, right? But one thing I do know Ariel Mitchell did uncover is the fact that she suspected a police cover-up. Is this the same situation out there in LA? Child.
I was present when Patricia Penman, a detective for the county and the Dearborn Police Department, paid a man to unalive Derek Lee Cordella Smith. And this man that she allegedly paid was Vincent Smothers. So she's telling me someone saying that she is a police officer, not only paid a judge, not only falsified police reports, not only accepted money to do so, But also she was there when a man was paid by a detective with the Wayne County Police Department. Nobody's talking about this. No law and crime video on this. No Nancy Grace, no Beth Harris Curious Case came out on this yet. She said when this man,
Dirty cops everywhere. Thumbs up this video. Share this live out. Dirty cops everywhere. Now, when all of this first started to go down with the diddler, one of the first things I said was like, law enforcement, anybody who helped him needs to go down with him. Could that be the other part of the RICO that we're missing? All the people that he paid off through the years to cover up his crimes, allegedly.
took the money to unalive this other lady, Rose Cobb, the day after Christmas 2007. She says, number 10, I was present when that same detective paid another woman $4,500 to place false R charges on Derek Lee Cordella Smith. She said, I saw it. I'm a witness. I saw somebody get paid to make false allegations. Number 11, I lied under oath to the magistrate judge of the 36th district while present with Sergeant Ortiz from the police department to obtain the arrest warrant for Derek Lee Cordella Smith, and I violated his due process rights that he is afforded by the Constitution. She spelled warrant wrong, which is interesting. That's interesting to me that a police officer would spell warrant wrong.
That is interesting. It is interesting. But if his due process was violated, he's going to get released eventually, I feel. He had to fight his way out of prison. That's why he was filing so many lawsuits, probably trying to get proof that he was innocent.
She says I also lied under oath in the Wayne County Circuit Court in the criminal case of the People versus Derek Lee Cordella Smith. She puts the case number. I make this affidavit freely, voluntarily, and with full knowledge that I will have to testify to these facts, and I will testify to them in a state or federal court, civil or criminal, civil of criminal. Again, there's a lot of typos in here. Because my actions while working as a police officer have resulted in an innocent me being held illegally, and that man is Derek Lee Cordella Smith. Now, this is not the only affidavit, okay? There was another filing the next day, which was yesterday. So let me just take a look at that. Again, y'all, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. And in fact, and indeed, Derek Lee Cordella Smith has already been adjudicated to be guilty, but he is saying he deserves a second chance to have his case looked at again because the police officer is saying all of this stuff. She personally is admitting to stuff and saying that she is an eyewitness to some other untoward behaviors. Now, if I'm the judge in this case and I can, and I'm fair, which, you know, if I was the judge, I would try to be fair. I believe that I would have to reconcile. I would have to at least check into the veracity of this police officer's statements. And again, if what she's saying is true, she should actually be in big trouble.
Naughty Crew, so far, what you have heard, does that warrant him? I feel like his case needs to be reopened and looked over again. And all the other cases that these officers and prosecuted, like, they about to let mad people out of prison. Every case they touch is going to be tainted if this is found to be true.
For going along with this. But then at the same time, what she's going to say is my family's lives were threatened. I was going to take this money, go along with my life, or my family was going to be on the line. I mean, that's kind of what she's making it seem like. Here is the other filing from yesterday. This is 15 pages long. He said, this is a motion to vacate the order of dismissal based on fraudulent concealment conducted by the defendant's staff and employees. So it's Derek Lee Cordella Smith versus Sean P. Diddy, Puff Daddy Combs. Allow this matter to proceed to a jury trial, grant the judgment in favor of the plaintiff where the plaintiff can prove the defendants committed fraud upon this court. And the plaintiff was given newly discovered evidence. It was not available at the time during these proceedings, requiring full reversal. So if you have evidence and it's truly newly discovered, like there really is no possible way you could have had it at the time of your trial, that is one reason to reopen. And that's what he's trying to do. Number one, he has two number ones in here, girl. Number one, the court has fraud committed upon it by the defendants requiring relief because this evidence couldn't have been discovered. He says the Detroit police officer Nicole Rabier has authored and notarized an affidavit stating that she worked for Diddy. She knew about the defendant's false claims and the framing and the cover-up. Number two, he says Andrea Bomarito admits to working for Sean Combs. I think that's one of the alleged victims. One of the alleged victims is admitting to working for Sean P. Combs to frame and lie about kidnapping. And
Child, I wonder how he got them to write those affidavits, though. Ooh, I need
there are charges against Derek Lee Cordella Smith, and there is an affidavit attached. The affidavit of Suzette Samuels, another affidavit. So this is a victim. He got an affidavit from her. This is an assistant Wayne County prosecutor. She has admitted to working to cover up the R of this plaintiff by Sean P. Combs. So what Derek Lee Cordella Smith is saying is that it is Sean P. Combs who did the crime, but Derek Lee Cordella Smith is being blamed and has been blamed for it. My hands are shaking at the thought that this could be true. What a freaking nightmare. Number four, plaintiff Derek Lee Cordella Smith has since been provided with new proof of the fraudulent concealment conducted by the defendant through the Detroit Police Department, Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and most assuredly the affidavits of the assistant Wayne County Prosecutor, Suzette Samuels, verifying her role in the fraudulent concealment, requiring the court to waive the statute of limitations. He says, I'm submitting affidavits verifying that the defendant worked and ordered her and her associates to conceal the evidence of the crime being committed against this plaintiff pertaining to the SA of plaintiff. Now, he claims he was SA as well. And if you look at that police officer affidavit, she says he was the victim that night. He will also be submitting a Rule 60B motion through this filing for full decision by the trial court.
Imagine being the victim, right? And being framed to keep so you can stay quiet, so you won't snitch on. Child.
The affidavits he claims offer proof that support his claims that all of these people worked for Sean Diddy Combs and worked with him and for him to cover up Derek Lee Cordella Smith's assault that happened on him and also to frame him. They have come forward to state that they have in fact done their actions and have come forward to the front to state what they have done and why they did it. And it was all to cover up SA committed upon this plaintiff by Diddy. He says this is allegations in a federal court filing. He states that these actions are in fact acts committed by the defendants and they never admitted it because it would have destroyed their case. He therefore asks that this court grant relief from judgment of the order granting the defendant's motion to dismiss, so he wants that to be overturned. Here are the 3 exhibits. So we already read Nicole Rabior. Here is an affidavit. When is it signed? February 10th, 2025. Now this one is notarized as well. This video is probably gonna be long, but she's a lawyer. This make me sick.
Me too.
I'm just beside I'm shocked. Truly, I didn't even think I could get shocked. You know what I'm shocked about? That it's like I'm looking at it in writing and somebody's admitting it. She puts her bar number.
It just goes to show that I'm not going to say everybody, but most people have a price. They're going to pick money over their moral standards because they feel like they'll never get caught. But you mean to tell me Diddy had this many people scared? It's crazy. To the point they willing to risk their law degrees and things like that.
I'm a lawyer and assistant prosecuting attorney for the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office in Detroit. I prosecuted Derek Lee Cordella Smith in the criminal case of the people until 2008. I worked directly for Kim Worthy, Wayne County prosecutor, and for Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, owner and founder of Bad Boy Records. Number 1, the office of the Wayne County prosecutor has framed Mr. Derek Lee Cordella Smith. I gotta look up, does this woman exist? I am beside myself. There is apparently a Suzette Samuels who is a lead attorney in the Wayne County prosecutor's office. I mean, that is what the internet, I just did a Google search, but I'm not so far as to say I'm shaking, but I am pretty shook. No video made on this, no law and crime, no Nancy Grace. I mean, like, nobody's talking about this.
You the only one.
They're talking about Brian Friedman going to an interview and they're not talking about this.
Go girl, good investigative journalist. Okay, journalism. Excuse me, because I don't have access to Pacer, so this falls under Fair Use Commentary United Crew. Shout out to the Surprise Witness TV. She does some great videos, so please go over to her channel and subscribe. I love her content. But for her to find this, chill.
A prosecutor who currently works for the Wayne County prosecutor, she's the lead attorney. She's filing a notarized affidavit saying the office of the Wayne County prosecutor framed Derek Lee Cordella Smith for the crimes of criminal conduct beginning in 1997 and when they did it in 2008 and again in 2019 when he was incarcerated. Number 2, the person who directed these prosecutions were and still are Mr. Sean John Combs, musician, music mogul, artist, owner, and founder of Bad Boy Records, and the other person directing it is Kim Worthy, a current Wayne County prosecutor. Number 3, Mr. Sean Combs and Kim Worthy, this prosecutor, ordered the Detroit Police Department's 9th Precinct to arrest and frame Derek Lee Cordella Smith for multiple R's that he did not commit. Number 4, Mr. Sean Diddy Puff Daddy Combs and this prosecutor, Kim Worthy, directed me, this is a lawyer, active lawyer, she's this notarized, to use my powers in office as the assistant Wayne County prosecutor to falsely charge and convict Mr. Derek Lee Cordella Smith with 6 counts of criminal conduct and 2 counts of kidnapping, which I did out of fear of my life, and which I did because I was paid to do so. In this and many other cases, totaling 128 black male citizens of Detroit, Saginaw, sorry, I'm not familiar with this name, Flint, Michigan, and other counties of Michigan that were investors in Bad Boy Records prior to 1997. All of the
investors in Bad Boy Records. All that rug money through Detroit got washed through Bad Boy.
Investors, a lot of the investors, she said 128 black male citizens who had invested in Bad Boy Records before 1997. She said, directed me to use my powers to falsely charge and convict Derek Lee Cordella Smith. I mean, do the feds know about this? She said she did it out of fear of her life. 128. It really infuriates me because so much of Sean Diddy Puff Daddy Combs' image has been built on this black king god, black male, support black businesses. Come to find out, according to this affidavit filed in federal court and apparently notarized by a lawyer with a bar number who you could look up, 128 black male citizens who were investors investing in a black business. Number 5, Mr. Combs ordered the prosecutor, Kim Worthy, to prosecute Cordella Smith for the crimes and to keep him in prison for these crimes after Diddy had taken a $150,000 investment from Cordella Smith in early January 1997. Mr. Cordella Smith demanded a notarized receipt with Mr. Marcus Ashford overseeing the notary services.
Okay, so remember in the restraining order hearing that I played earlier, he was explaining that the reason why he had to file the temporary restraining order is because he had investments tied up with Diddy, and by him selling his property, he could be missing out on some funds because he's invested. In prison or not, he's an investor. He's still entitled to his money.
Now that's interesting because Marcus Ashford, I believe, is the one who notarized some of this. So again, I'll take it with a grain of salt because we have people here who are admitting that they have falsified documents before. That's a big hit on their credibility, in my opinion. And probably in a judge, I mean, by the rules of evidence, that's a hit on their credibility. Number 6, Mr. Combs and my boss, Kim Worthy, have framed Derek Lee Cordella Smith to cover up the R of Cordella Smith. So Cordella Smith was AR'd, they're saying, by Diddy in 1997. And this was while he was serving as Diddy's bartender from 96 to 97. Diddy sent 3 men to unalive Cordella Smith in 97 while he had a female companion. And they were exiting a movie theater. He was stabbed in his right arm while defending himself. And he actually unalived the assailant. Cordella Smith was placed under arrest for second-degree. This happened, and then the unaliving was hidden. And it led to Cordella Smith being sent to prison for multiple counts of criminal conduct, crimes of which he is innocent of. I worked with the 97 prosecutor under Michael Dugan and then Judge Kim Worthy. So Kim Worthy used to be a judge? Michael Dugan is the current Detroit mayor and other officials, and they helped cover up the crime. Hold on, who's the mayor of Detroit? This is crazy. This was supposed to be a short little 10-minute, y'all.
Keep going, girl. Keep going.
I mean, again, these people are the same people that have admitted to coming out. It's Michael. This is the mayor of Detroit. Where is he? I want to see a picture.
The white guy. Oh, remember the case in the mom's 2 kids froze to death at the casino in Detroit, and he came out doing a press conference. I can't even catch my breath. I can't catch my breath.
This is crazy. This is really, really insane. He said, I worked with the assistant prosecutor under Michael Dugan and then Judge Kim Worthy. She was a judge, the current mayor of Detroit. Other officials, I worked with them to cover up the crime. I played a key role with Detroit police officers, Diddy, who was personally involved, other members of Wayne County, and current high-ranking Wayne County government officials to hide the homicide and to unlawfully place Derek Lee Cordella Smith in the custody of the Michigan Department of Corrections for crimes of misconduct, kidnapping, all of which he is innocent of. Sean Diddy Combs was always personally involved and directed these meetings in order to cover up the R that he committed on Derek Lee Cordella Smith and to ensure Cordella Smith never collected on his rightful claim to 49% of Bad Boy Records. This is based upon his lead role in the investments of money. So this is just groundbreaking and shocking. The man had invested $150,000. According to this affidavit, I don't know, wasn't there? $150,000 in Bad Boy. And this is to cover up that he's the rightful owner of 50% of it, 49%. Diddy and Kim Worthy both paid cash directly to Mr. Vincent Smtih, a hitman. Patricia Penman, detective.
Is that where old boy shares went? Founder of Bad Boy. Is this why they tried to muscle him? Kurt Burrows. Is that where his 25% went? To Derek Lee? Child, because remember...
Active in Detroit and Dearborn. David Cobb, Detroit Police Department Sergeant who's now deceased. Carly Carpenter, Tina Bomarito, Andrea Bomarito, and others to kidnap and attempt to unalive Mr. Derek Lee Cordella Smith in 2008, only to fail. And then decided to use the same people to frame Derek Lee Cordella Smith for R that he did not do. Carly Carpenter, sisters Tina and Andrea Bomarito are as...
I know he been going through it in there. First you try to delete me. Then you turn around and use the same people to frame me for great and... See, this is why, like, people side-eye victims' statements. Because it's people out here that really set people up like this. It's sad.
As assault and as slavery victims of Diddy. Wayne County officials, Kim Worthy, and they are part of a crime ring and a criminal enterprise throughout the state of Michigan. I paid $5,000 to a judge, a district court judge, to secure an arrest warrant for Cordella Smith and James.
Is this why Jarvis Butts has been able to operate? Maybe he's connected to this ex-trafficking, because I suspect in Detroit that is a hub for human trafficking. Okay? Considering what has happened to Naziah, that little boy that was buried under the house, and then the little girl that went missing, all crimes against kids. Why?
January 2008, I paid $5,000 to Judge Willie Lipscomb, 36th District Court Judge in Detroit, to falsely determine that there was enough evidence to make Cordella Smith stand trial in the Wayne County Circuit Court at the probable cause conference hearing, and he was therefore bound over for trial. I paid $10,000 to another judge, Judge Daniel P. Ryan, in the 3rd Circuit Court, Judge of Wayne County, to grant all of my motions in Circuit Court and secure a conviction of Cordella Smith by way of denying every motion that Cordella Smith was entitled to be given, resulting in his plea of no contest. It's $20,000 right there. 15, I paid $4,300 to Judge Thomas Cameron of the 3rd Circuit Court to deny Cordella Smith's post-conviction motions, even though he was entitled to the relief he was entitled to, and they were denied. I paid Judge Bridget Mary Hathaway, 3rd Circuit Court Judge of Wayne County, $23,000 from January 2019 to February 1st, 2025, just now, last month. She's saying that over the course of 2019 to 2025, she paid a judge personally, Bridget Mary Hathaway, $23,000 to deny all of Cordella Smith's rightful motions that he was entitled to be granted. I performed the transaction of these monetary handovers on the orders of Kim Worthy and Sean Diddy Combs, and I complied fully with these orders of the two persons named because they have their hands deep into the elected and appointed workers of the County of Wayne, City of Detroit, and other areas of Michigan. Mr. Cobb committed unalive of himself in 2008 when Cordella Smith was going to call him as a witness in his criminal case at trial. It was not suit. It was murder. ordered by Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs and Kim Elworthy. He passed 2 days before Cordella Smith's trial was to begin, resulting in Cordella Smith entering a no contest plea. He was going to call this man as a witness and he got unalived, is what this woman is saying. Every document in the case Cordella Smith filed against Diddy is real, accurate, and true. As that, I have the same copies of.
So he pleaded no contest. He never pleaded guilty or not guilty. Interesting.
Those documents, and I have had the documents for many years. Kim Worthy has them too. Mr. Combs used Kim Worthy, who used Detroit police officer Patrick Jackman and other Detroit police officers to work with 2 LA police officers to execute Mr. Tupac Shakur and Mr. Marion Knight on direct orders of Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs.
This is why he don't want this ninja out. Y'all, I gotta back it up. Y'all heard it.
Last month, she's saying that over the course of 2019 to 2025, she paid a judge personally, Bridget Mary Hathaway, $23,000 to deny all of Cordella Smith's rightful motions that he was entitled to be granted. I performed the transaction of these monetary handovers on the orders of Kim Worthy and Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, and I complied fully with these orders of the 2 persons named because they have their hands deep into the elected and appointed workers of the county of Wayne, city of Detroit, and other areas of Michigan. Mr. Cobb committed unalive of himself in 2008 when Cordella Smith was going to call him as a witness in his criminal case at trial. It was not suit. It was ordered by Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs and Kim Elworthy. He passed 2 days before Cordella Smith's trial was to begin, resulting in Cordella Smith entering a no contest plea. He was going to call this man as a witness and he got unalived, is what this woman is saying. Every document in the case Cordella Smith filed against Diddy is real, accurate, and true. As that, I have the same copies of those documents, and I have had the documents for many years. Kim Worthy has them too. Mr. Combs used Kim Worthy, who used Detroit police officer Patrick Jackman and other Detroit police officers to work with 2 LA police officers to execute Mr. Tupac Shakur.
Get the blood clot out of here. Y'all heard it. Tupac name getting louder and louder and louder. Y'all don't think they gonna charge him? You got Kirk Burrows with documents that he wrote out of flights in rental cars connected to Keefe D. I'm telling you, it's a reason why they push back Keefe D trial, because they may be putting Diddy as a co-defendant in that. Okay? Y'all heard it for yourselves. Thumbs up this video, share. Shout out to the surprise witness. Girl, you did that. I give credit where credit is due. Child, it's going down. It's all coming out.
And Mr. Marion Knight on direct orders of Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. Hello?
Suge Knight.
A lawyer saying former judge, current prosecutor Kim Worthy used Detroit police officer Patrick Jackman and another Detroit Police Department officer to work with 2 LA police officers to execute Tupac and Suge Knight on direct orders of Mr. Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. This is paragraph 20. She says this is all proven by documents contained in the case of Derek Lee Cordella Smith versus Sean Combs, case number 24-12647, U.S. District Court, Eastern District of Michigan, and the companion case of Cordella Smith versus Sean Combs, 24-12737. I state that these documents are true and real and not forged. Cordella Smith stands by them, so do I, because I have the exact same copies of the documents Kim Worthy does as well. I'm shocked. I didn't read this before, and I wasn't planning on reading it word for word. I had no idea this said this like this. I read the police officer one. That was like shocking enough.
You think?
21. The Office of the Wayne County Prosecutor has destroyed all homicide files beginning in 95 through 2003, and this was done to hide the homicide Derek Lee Cordella Smith had originally committed in self-defense, and to frame him for the crimes he is in fact innocent of. I currently have video footage of Cordella Smith defending himself in the parking lot in 1997. Now, 1997, I believe, is the same year of the Tupac unaliving, or is it big?
Yes, it is.
March 9th, 1997 is whenever Christopher Wallace, aka Notorious B.I.G., was unalived, and Tupac was September 13th, 1996. Put a 333 in the chat if you were a little bit shocked. Even though you don't get shocked, you still a little shocked. I never expected to see this much apparently notarized, full-on admissions, and nobody, no CNN, no Chloe Mayloss, no NBC. They can hunt down Jane Doe, find her identity, and nobody can report on this. She said she has video footage of Cordella Smith defending himself in the park. That's enough to open it up right now. Open it back up. Vacate the judgment, in my opinion. I don't know, I'm not the judge. I currently have video footage of this man defending himself in the parking lot in 1997. I have video of him being framed for multiple R at the direction of Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs. I have video of Sean Combs, our victims, being coerced and forced to testify falsely that Cordella Smith committed horrific acts against them, when it was actually Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs R-ing them, beating them, forcing them to do it, along with other Wayne County officials and members of law enforcement. Number 24, I have documents that support all of what Mr. Cordella Smith has claimed. And he was threatened by Sean Combs that if he went through with the SA charges against Diddy, that Cordella Smith's family and friends' lives would be threatened. Number 25, Mr. Cordella Smith submitted a report from William Proctor in 2024, last year, that, I can't tell what this says right here. don't know what, I can only speculate, that Smtih, the hitman, Vincent Smothers, had unalived many people. Kim Worthy provided Mr. Smothers with a sweetheart deal in exchange for his assistance with unalivings on Sean Combs' orders. Our office, the prosecutor's office, honored that deal with him. 26, Mr. Cordella Smith did not commit any R. All the evidence that was to be presented at trial was in fact manufactured, false, and simply did not exist. It was all done at the orders of Kim L. Worthy and Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs to get revenge on a former bad boy member, Derek Lee Cordella Smith. Number 27, I acted contrary to laws. She's saying under penalty of perjury. She's saying in a sworn declaration that's notarized that she broke laws. I acted contrary to laws and every ethical rule, and I violated Mr. Cordella Smith's due process rights every step of the way. Number 28, I paid Bridget Mary Hathaway a total of $10,000 last year, March 2024, to deny any of Cordella Smith's motions or successive motions for relief from judgment of the sentence. So she paid, last year she's claiming she paid $10,000 to Bridget Mary Hathaway to deny Derek Lee Cordella Smith's motions for relief, or to get out of that judgment, like to appeal, overturn, whatever. She said, I paid $10,000 to the judge. I told the judge that Kim L. Worthy had said that Cordella Smith has an affidavit from Tina Bomarito that he's using to get the factual basis of his plea withdrawn. I asked her to ignore this evidence in this denial, and she did. And it was done because Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs ordered it to be done. This lady was just paying people last month, though. February 1st, 2005, the same month that she signed this. 4 days later, she signed this. That's odd. What happened? What changed?
Right.
Number 29, on January 29th this year, Judge Bridget M. Hathaway issued an order denying Derek Lee Cordella Smith's successive motion for relief from judgment and did not address the recantation of Tina Bomarito, as she was paid to not address. Tina Bomarito is one of the alleged victims.
I'm guessing that the money stopped. The money is stopping, and now people are singing like canaries. And a lot of people are close to retirement.
And she recanted what she had said, alleging against Derek Lee Cordella Smith. This lady is claiming she paid a judge to ignore that evidence. Number 30, Judge Bridget M. Hathaway is also overseeing the case of Carly Carpenter in the People versus Derek Lee Cordella Smith, and she has been paid to issue another decision on that case that will completely avoid any of the recantation of Carly Carpenter, who lied and who was paid to lie. So another case against him, Carly Carpenter, not Bomarito, Carpenter. It was established and started in 2019. This lady is saying in a filing yesterday, this filed yesterday, she has been paid to issue another decision. She paid a judge to ignore critical evidence of a victim recanting their statement. Is this a dream? Am I dreaming? Is the United States of America? I knew that there were crooked judges, crooked prosecutors, crooked cops. I knew it's like one of the foundations of the channel, girl. But I am not used to seeing them type things out and submit them like this. 31, Judge Bridget Hathaway has completely earned her money by entering decisions against Cordella Smith. That shows that she will not allow the recantation of affidavits to be placed on the court record, because to do so would mean that she has accepted bribes to deny the relief to an innocent man. 32, the Office of Wayne County Prosecutor under Kim L. Worthy and the Office of Wayne County District Court under Judges Daniel Ryan, Thomas Cameron, and Bridget M. Hathaway are directly working for Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs, P. Diddy, and I am a direct employee of Sean Diddy Combs. I am a direct employee of Sean Diddy. I am a direct employee of Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutor saying this. I framed Cordella Smith for R he did not do by using victims of Sean Combs to frame Cordella Smith. And it was all done for the sole purpose of keeping Cordella Smith in prison and not allowing him to get a hold of his money that he is entitled to. Mr. Sean Combs and Kim L. Worthy's reach extends to other law offices, lawyers, prosecutors, law enforcement, state judges, state appeals judges, federal judges at the trial and appellate level. And it is a reach that I am now sick and tired of having leading me, which has led me to this release of the truth. Number 34, I work directly for Sean Combs, and Kim Worthy does too. And I framed Cordella Smith, and Kim Worthy framed Cordella Smith. Numerous Michigan judges in every level of court have been paid in some way or another to deny Cordella Smith his release from custody because I don't know, somebody wanted Cordella Smith to look like a serial. I guess it's hard to see what that says. See that word? I don't know what that is. Because someone wanted Cordella Smith to look like a serial S offender, and he is not. But we succeeded in it. And it was wrong. The man is innocent, and I am guilty of framing him. And so are my bosses, Kim Worthy and Sean Combs. Any person who says that this is false or that this is not a legally binding statement is lying themselves. It is made in my official capacity while I am still an employee of the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office and as a citizen in my individual capacity that I was bribed and did bribe to frame an innocent man, Cordella Smith, on orders of Kim L. Worthy and Sean Combs. I will attest to these facts because they are true and real. And what has happened to Cordella Smith is a tragedy and a miscarriage of justice. His no contest plea should be withdrawn, and this matter should be allowed to go to jury trial, or the charges against him should be dismissed in their entirety. I framed Cordella Smith for the worst crimes imaginable, and he is innocent. And I acted on.
So, for those of you who don't know, Kim Worthy is the prosecutor that spoke in regards to the Naziah Harris indictment against Jarvis Butts. Detroit, y'all dirty. Some man cleaning the water up there in Detroit. I knew it.
On orders of Sean Combs to do it. Because of Cordella Smith's inside knowledge as to how Bad Boy Records was built, how Sean Combs operates, and who he is. Cordella Smith is a good man, and Sean Combs is a bad boy. I acted against the law and hide behind my immunity and protections afforded to me by Kim Worthy. This is wrong, and it must be corrected. The Office of the Wayne County Prosecutor will deny this, but I will not deny it. I am guilty. Sean Combs is guilty. Kim Worthy is guilty. The Detroit Police Department is guilty. Officer David Cobb is guilty. Tina Bomarito is guilty. Carly Carpenter is guilty. Andrea Bomarito is guilty. And the only person who is innocent of anything criminal is Cordella Smith. I state that I am a direct employee of Sean Combs. And while I am in my office, I framed Derek Lee Cordella Smith and other men who I prosecuted. And I did so in the orders of Sean Combs. And it was to hide two things. One, Sean Combs as assault of Derek Lee Cordella Smith. Two, to stop Cordella Smith from collecting on his rightful entitlements under the contractual agreement reached between him and Sean Combs for $150,000 in exchange for 49% of all the holdings of Sean Combs. And it was also to hide and cover up the fact that Tupac Shakur was unalived on orders of Sean Combs and Kim L. Worthy. She helped to effect said unaliving. Also, the attempted unaliving of Suge Knight in 1996 to cover up the multiple crimes that our office and Sean P. Puff Daddy Combs is a part of, and all to keep Cordella Smith silent. As an original member and investor of Bad Boy Records and Cordella Smith's personal insight into Sean Combs and his empire, I swear and declare under penalty of perjury that the above is true, real, accurate, and based on my own personal knowledge, information, and belief. Anything contrary to these events are, in fact, they themselves false. And I make these allegations freely, truly, and knowingly that I am subject to perjury. The events happened, and I will testify to that. And I will testify to that in state or federal court if called upon to do so voluntarily or by subpoena. Y'all, there's another affidavit from a alleged victim. When's this one from? This one's from February. I mean, this one's from just not even a month ago. February. There is no such thing as February 29th. Okay, so this is another issue. It's not a leap year, right? I'm just double checking, but I know it's 28. Okay, so here's one thing I need to point out. This person's supposed to be notary public. It says February 29, 2025. That doesn't exist. That's not a date, but maybe it's an accident, whatever. Here's the affidavit of Andrea. The fact that it's notarized, though, I mean, it is notarized. Sean D. Fleming. My name is Andrea Bomarito. I work for Sean P. Puff Daddy Combs, also known as P. Diddy Puff Daddy. I work for Kim L. Worthy, Chief Wayne County Prosecutor. I work for Suzette Samuels, Assistant Wayne County Prosecutor. I was paid $10,000 between October 2007 and June 2008 to say that Derek Lee Cordella Smith kidnapped me, SA'd me, and beat me. I testified falsely under oath that these events happened when I was on the stand in the 36th District Court for the City of Detroit. That testimony was used in the Wayne County Circuit Court to falsely convict Derek Lee Cordella Smith. Number 7, Cordella Smith did not kidnap and did not R me or my sister Tina. This was all a lie. I was paid to say it happened on the orders of David Cobb, Sergeant of the Detroit Police Department. I attempted to have Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy's Assistant Prosecutor, Suzette Samuels. I told them I lied, and they said they would get me for filing a false police report, as well as my sister Tina, and they would lose their winning streak. I said, so what? Number 9, having seen that the courts require me to recant in order to get the truth told, then I stated that I'm recanting because I participated in a conspiracy with my sister and many other people to frame an innocent man, Derek Lee Cordella Smith. It is wrong for me to have this. I understand that I could be charged with filing a false police report, but so be it. For the truth, I will do it. I lied under oath in the case of the People versus Derek Lee Cordella Smith in 2008 in the 3rd Judicial Circuit Court. Derek Lee Cordella Smith did not abduct me. He did not R me. He did not abduct my sister Tina. He did not R my sister Tina. I was paid to lie by Sergeant David Cobb of the Detroit Police Department, and I will testify to these facts in an open court of law, be it civil or criminal. Number 11, release Mr. Derek Lee Cordella Smith from prison because he is innocent, because he did not R me or R anyone. I lied. That is the facts of the case. And it was because I was paid and forced to lie. No one has promised me anything or paid me to say this. It is the truth. And my lie has an innocent man incarcerated, and he should be released. I also need to testify to have criminal charges on me dropped. What? That's a very interesting thing to throw down, and something's weird going on here. I also agreed to testify to have criminal charges on me. Oh, I see what she's saying. I think what she means is she was working for the prosecutor, she got paid, but also if she would testify, then the criminal charges on her would be dropped at the time she had criminal charges pending, and so it was kind of a quid pro quo. This, I don't know why this is making me like kind of emotional. Like I feel like I've been on the verge of tears the whole time I've been reading these affidavits, and I don't know why. It may be because I really never expected them to come.
Good work, surprise witness. Excellent, excellent work. I'm emotional, okay? I don't know how to feel, but to give y'all some context and put some faces to this, look, I'm interested. I'm keeping my eye out on what's going on in Detroit, right? Because could Jarvis Butt's case fall apart because Kim Worthy and the mayor are crooked and on Diddy's payroll? Was Diddy a part of this ex-trafficking ring? Fair use. This is Kim Worthy.
Working with a registered
I'm telling you, if Cardellis gets out, every case that Kim Worthy prosecuted has to be revised, looked over.
Of my career, looking at pictures of murdered people. When I was trying homicide cases for 6 straight years, as an assistant prosecutor, I would spend hours thinking about the victim whose case I was getting ready to try, wondering how they spent their last weeks, their last days, their last hours, and their last minutes of their lives. What were they thinking about? Did they know that the end was near? And if it was someone they knew, what must they have been thinking as they were shot, stabbed, or whatever mechanism of death was used and confronted them with by the person they knew or loved? I can't imagine the thoughts that go through their minds. But it's always, always 1,000 times worse when the person is a child or a baby, someone in the dawn of their lives who haven't begun to live their lives. The picture behind me is of Zanaya, and that will always be haunting because it was taken just a short time before the evidence shows that she was never seen or heard from again. It was taken by Nazaya herself, a selfie. That's the last known picture that we know about of her. And it was pointed out to me by one of the detectives on this case and by one of the prosecutors. She is smiling, waving, saying hello. But little did she know that she was really saying goodbye. We will provide to you later a very skeleton timeline of the time right before her death, before and after. Of course, the detail would be provided in court. The evidence shows overwhelmingly in this case that she is in fact deceased. The last time she was seen alive was January the 9th of this year, 2024, almost 9 months ago. Her missing status was reported to the Detroit Public School Police Department by her grandmother on that very.
I can't even listen to her because like now my vision is skewed of her. If she's in fact guilty of these heinous crimes. Also, let's get into the mayor. Remember, he recently spoke out regarding the 2 children that froze in the car, which they got her a house, and I think she needs a jail. She need prison.
Take off the mask.
She need prison, but I think they thinking about bringing up charges on her.
Well, doesn't mean very much if the residents who need them don't know how to access them. We have to make sure that we do everything possible to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
In wake of tragedy, city officials are calling for actionable plans to address gaps in services for people experiencing homelessness across Detroit. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Bruckner. Police say 2 young children likely died of hypothermia inside a van at a Hollywood casino parking garage in Greektown. The mom and her kids were allegedly...
Which they now have found out, the medical examiner ruled that the children died from carbon monoxide poisoning. Exactly, Veronica. Thank you. But I just wanted to, that's the mayor. And that's Kim Worthy, who is being accused of being on the Diddlers payroll. Naughty Crew, I just wanted to bring y'all these updates. Derek Lee Cordella Smith is not letting up on Diddy, okay? We went through the timeline. It started with him filing a $100 million lawsuit. Then he turned around and filed a restraining order to stop the sale of Diddy's houses. It got granted. Now he won the $100 million lawsuit by default, but then Diddy's team came in and it was overturned, right? So now Surprise Witness TV saw that motions were filed this week. And this time he filed motions with affidavits. Now there was a lot of typos, but I'm sorry, I think it's enough evidence for his case to be looked upon, and a lot of heads are going to roll. And here you have it, the RICO portion of Diddy's enterprise. Could it possibly be all the prosecutors, the judges, and the police officers that were on his payroll all of these years, helping him to get away with crimes? I'm telling you. And then we have Tupac, Red Rum, coming up once again. There's a reason why they push Keefe D's trial. And I believe it's because Keefe D got a Cody. Got a co-defendant. Yep. And they trying to wait for the extravagant to be over, and then they're going to shift them to Vegas. Absolutely. You got Kurt Burrows filing lawsuits against Diddy's mom. Right. Everybody cannot be lying. I'm sorry. When there is smoke, there is fire. And you know, I've been waiting for this day for the law enforcement that assisted in all these crimes to be held accountable. I mean, you took an oath to protect and serve, and you're participating in a criminal enterprise. It just blows my mind. Everybody cannot be lying on Diddy. Derek Lee Cordella, he is not letting up. He is like that gnat that won't go away. I bet you Diddy was hoping like somebody in prison. That's why he kept lining him up to get him set up in prison and stuff. But now in these affidavits, this woman is saying she got video proof. Cordella, he been set up over and over and over again by Diddy to remain silent. You want to sound? It sounds so similar to Jonathan Odie. Now, does Jonathan Odie's story sound so far fetched? Or what about the woman that filed the lawsuit? Well, with her lawsuit, the fact that she included Jag Liar. Let me give you my take on that. You remember when Ariel Smith was on the same show that Jag Liar was on Piers Morgan Uncensored? And then Vlad TV came after and he was like, Jag Liar is a liar and this and that. And then Ariel Mitchell windmill her way in, was like, no, he's nothing but a culture vulture, this and that. Well, Jag began to contact Ariel Mitchell because she defended her. Because, you know, if Jag sees somebody that is in her favorite child, she start to stalk you, right? Because I remember Courtney Burgess, and when Courtney Burgess and Jag Liar was going back and forth, Jag Liar kept saying, I keep reaching out to Ariel Mitchell, she won't respond. I think Jag Liar she's been harassed, just like she called the Busby law firm. I think she's been harassing Ariel Mitchell, and Ariel Mitchell threw her name in that lawsuit, like, shut the fuck up or I'm gonna shut you up. I'm saying that's my opinion. That's my take on it. And I think that's how she ended up in that lawsuit, because I think she's been harassing Ariel Mitchell. Y'all know she a stalker. She is a stalker. So yeah, no. I'm gonna keep my eyes out, 92 for the tea. Most of all, I want to see what's going down in Detroit to see if investigations are gonna be opened up on Hemworthy, the mayor, and all these other police officers that made up police reports. And I'm telling you, every case that a lot of people are gonna be getting out of prison. Because if they trumped up this case, who's to say they didn't trump up others? A lot of people are going to be released in the prison. And I believe Detroit was the hub of the Diddy trafficking. Yep. I absolutely remember. That's where Jane Doe with the D&G sweater is from. Hello. Like, all the dots are starting to connect. All right. So I'm gonna drop the link just in case y'all want to sound off. Don't feel no pressure because your girl's tired or whatever. But I want to hear what my naughty crew have to say about this. Shout out to Surprise Witness TV. Girl, you did that. You did that. And I don't have access to Pacers, so I had to share commentary with you, but I appreciate you and I give you all the credit in the world. And I'm also going to drop your link. Let me drop your link in the chat. So, because she has lots of videos, but I just I could not wait till the morning for this one because I wanted enough time to cover everything. But Naughty Crew, let me know what your thoughts are. But yeah, I think it's now the time for accountability. And if Derek gets out, I think he's gonna be a key witness in the case. Because he's proof of him harassing and bullying and intimidating. Then you got Jonathan Odie saying the same type of things, same patterns. Sorry, guys. People expecting that I'm off work and stuff. Yeah. I appreciate you all joining me. Y'all, let's leave it in the comments. Like my mind is blown. Like I don't even have any more commentary, but all these dots are connected, and I'm telling you, this could affect the Naziah Harris case and a lot of other cases. If this corruption is exposed. And I'm interested to see, like, if people start stepping down, if this causes a federal indictment, like, is this the restructuring that Detroit has needed for years? I mean, it's a lot of corruption in Detroit. Let's just talk about it. Is it raining? What? I'm just checking the Detroit news to see if it's anything happening. There was a big drug bust up there. Woo! Stuff is going down. I think all the trafficking is about to come to a head. Look at what the headlines are. Look, feds reveal Gold Gym Detroit owner was a Cocaina kingpin, bagman. Look. Canadian official sees more than 900 pounds of suspected cocaina at Blue Water Bridge. This is earlier today. Look at this. Of course, for a little clear boy. Lincoln Park Police, CPS, did poor abuse investigation for child who later died. State reports. Same thing with Naziah Harris. Look, the whole system in Detroit about to get dismantled. I'm going to keep my eye out, Naughty Crew. I believe Derek's lawsuit is going to cause a lot of heads to roll. I really, really do. And for Kim Worthy's name to be mentioned over and over again, it's going down. And all I gotta do is follow the money. And as you can see, a lot of money exchange hands. I mean, detail up until recently, payments were being made. Like, judges are being paid off to look the other way. It's going down. It's going down. I love you all. Please thumbs up the video. Share this live out. Let me know what your thoughts are. Replay games. Seriously, it's going down. All right. Shout out to Surprise TV for sure. You did an awesome job. I love you all, and I hope you all have a beautiful evening. But Diddy,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
you played yourself. You thought your money was going to buy you out of anything, and that simply is just not the case. Remember, money is the root. For the love of money is the root of all evil. Let's share this live. All right, you guys. Good night. Have a good evening. I'm tired. Peace.